All right, guys, we are live. Welcome to the lunch break here at the Livewell. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, November 19th. Hope everybody is doing good, having a great day. I know a lot of you guys are working, been working for a while now this week, and the weekend is just starting to come into sight, right? It's starting to come into sight. It's going to be close. We just got to get through a couple more days. Coleman, how you doing? Afternoon, everyone. Danny, check out the logo picture beside my name. Let's see. I don't know if I can see it from this. I'll have to check it out after the fact, Coleman. I can't really get in that much detail, but I'd love to see it. But again, hope everybody's doing good. Let's go ahead and take care of some business. What's up, Tyler? And of course, we got the Toys for Tots, December 6th. Guys, sign up for this tournament, okay? This is going to be one of the best tournaments out there, on Lanier, by far, for the entire year, okay? $5,000 guaranteed first place prize. There's not another tournament going on that's going to give away that kind of money. I don't care if it's a club tournament, whatever it is. Hey, it's a logo for the Livewell podcast I made. Hey, send that to me on Facebook. I'd like to see that, dude. I absolutely would like to see that. But again, Toys for Tots, go ahead and pre-register because the pre-registration is going to end at the end of November. You're going to blast off in the order of which you have signed up. Okay. And then you can also sign up the morning of $80 plus one unwrapped toy. And listen, if you can't fish and you've got toys that you can just bring by or that you want me to pick up beforehand, that's what we got to do. We got to get these kids these toys, Hall County, Pickens County kids. We want to make sure that they have a great Christmas. Of course, we drive a Phoenix. Hey, you can get some contingency money, right? Appreciate you guys out there in the comment section saying it was a great show last night. Listen, a couple things about that show last night. I absolutely had a great time. Seth Feider is one of the coolest dudes out there, for sure. You guys can hear my phone. It always decides to ring while I'm on air, right? I'm doing my TikTok on my phone and all that. So I hope you guys don't hear that vibration going off. Did I drink lots of coffee to sober up? Let me go ahead and get our logo there right there, though. Yes, but I want to say something to you guys. And let's be fair. Let's be transparent. Starting tonight or the next one, there will be no more mixed drinks from Danny Pruitt on a podcast. Those things catch up with you. I ain't doing it. I'm gonna not drink on a podcast. It's gonna be Pepsi Zero, Dr. Pepper Zero, or coffee. Just because, if we're being honest, last night I almost made a mistake. Seth was great. Seth, answered all the questions, but sometimes you get a little liquid courage going on, and I think I had that going on a little bit last night. And I made a statement to him about I didn't care nothing about the info rules. Well, that guys, that put him in a precarious situation because while I think they're dumb, and I don't care about them, he has to do. He has to, right? And so I apologized to him. Actually, if you go back, I actually edited a couple sections of the show. I took a couple parts out because down the road, I don't want to get him in trouble. You never know with somebody out there, but he is fantastic. He is fantastic and smart, dude, and so laid back. I thought that was awfully bold when you said that. Yeah, and see, listen, I'm not doing it no more. I love you guys, and I want to continue to do this show and give you guys the best guests, but I don't want to scare guests away. So no more. I'm officially, we are now Clint, Tony, all them, they're not quite as over the top as I am. So that's okay with them. The guest, it's okay. Danny Pruitt, no more. So I hope, well, Seth said it was totally cool because he is totally cool. But no, not going to do that. I'm not going to put anybody in jeopardy anymore. But other than that, it was fantastic, guys. I mean, how often do you get a guy of his caliber just sitting there and he's throwing out juice, right? You guys would ask questions. Clint, Tony would ask questions. I'd throw it out. Just juice. And here's what I'm finding about a lot of these pros. That, if you go down to ICAST, people are always coming up. They're hugging them, wanting their autograph. They get a lot of smoke blowed up their butt. They expect it as part of the job, right? Well, I think what we do here is kind of refreshing a little bit where they can just sit here and they can talk fishing. Because at the end of the day, they're regular guys like us. They like to fish. They like to hunt. They like to do all the things that we like to do, right? And so I think sometimes, what's up, Chris Garrison on TikTok? I think they just enjoy what we do. So I'm going to do a better job for you guys, for myself, for the guests. And I tied one on a little bit last night. I didn't realize it kind of, the mixed drinks kind of sneak up on you, and I'm just not going to do that. We're just going to be coffee, caffeine. We'll just go caffeine, nicotine. That's going to be the what's going to go on. Now the Bigfoot stuff. Edward Folker, did you split from North Georgia? No, I am fish North Georgia. There was a split message. I tell you what, Edward Folker, let me write your name down right here. I'm going to message you on TikTok after the show, and I'll kind of get you up to date on that. A lot of guys know. A lot of guys, it's interesting. A lot of guys don't know, and they've even been watching the show, and they're like, really? Now, the Bigfoot stuff, if you go read his bio on Bassmaster, he's got some strange things, spirit animals, things like that. And Danny, you never messaged me. What the hell? I eat, live, and fish. I'm writing you down too. You guys are killing me. I'm a busy guy and I forget stuff. I'm old. Dozer 21, crazy rut happening in Arkansas this year. I wish it was happening right here. Of course, I wish I was in the woods. Seth would have a spirit animal. When Seth said Bigfoot vaporizes into a puff of smoke, I was like, what? And what's up for me? I know, listen, he's crazy. Now, Old Dirty Cracker, Kendra says, I'm never going to look at Bigfoot the same. Old Dirty Cracker said he was cool, but he lost me with that Bigfoot stuff. And Tyler Shelnup, Peter Kane versus female Bigfoot is a bigger rivalry than Georgia versus Georgia Tech. It might be. But again, it's those kind of conversations. That are kind of fun. And they're not going to be able to get those on another podcast. We will definitely allow that kind of conversation. I'm just going to do it without, you know what I'm saying. And I also wanted to, I'm not going to give the guy's name, but there is one gentleman out there. He may be listening right now. He may be not, but he is kind of like, you know how you seen those cartoons where you got a good angel and a bad angel? You know what I'm saying? He is both. And that gentleman, I don't like yes men. You get surrounded by yes men in this world. But he'll tell me like it is. And he told me, he goes, nope, dude, we got to fix this. And so I always appreciate someone willing to say, Danny, hey, listen, totally cool, but not totally cool at the same time. And you guys, listen, all you guys have that same right. That if you see me kind of going a little one way or the other, and you think, hey, we need to reel Danny back in, please, I need accountability partners, right? That's what it's all about. I need some accountability partners, like 152 of you. But it was really fun. Now let's see. War Eagle the best. Let's pull you up right here. Was frustrating to hear when he said the bass is going to bite less and less and going toward Japan type fishing. This is why my son refuses to fish from a bank. And you know, I've heard other anglers say that. And sometimes though, War Eagle, I think that's lake dependent. I've heard Randy Blockett talk about a couple of his lakes up there that the bite is a lot harder. And to me, when I'm listening to those, and I'm kind of saying, what kind of lake are they fishing? And to me, it seems like a lot of largemouth lakes. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't think we're going to have that problem here with spotted bass. I just think spotted bass are different creatures. Will they change their habits? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, the good Lord put an instinct in them to crush stuff and to eat stuff, right? They always are going to have to feed. So maybe they might bite less and less on the common stuff we fish with. We might have to change our tactics a little bit. But, I mean, think about it, guys. We can throw a piece of plastic, put a little white paint, chrome paint, and throw it out over 40 foot of water and just jiggle it on top, and a spotted bass is going to come up and crush it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to just come up and crush it. So sometimes I think we overthink it a little bit. Now, I'm not saying he's wrong, but I do understand where he's coming from on some things. But I really honestly think sometimes that's just lake dependent. Again, I'm not Kevin Van Dam. I'm not Seth Feider. I don't know. But what I do know is I listen to all you guys, and I hear about what you're catching them on, how you're fishing, where you're fishing at. And I just absorb all the information that you guys are willing to give. And I think North Georgia's fine right now. 20 years, who knows? But as far as fishing from the bank, War Eagle the best, that might change a little bit. They might be out. I think they're going to be where the bait is. One thing we noticed this year is that for the bluegill eaters, all the bluegill beds were deeper this year for some reason. So it could be like a cycle. I don't know what to see. Let's see. What's up, Farmer? Tyler Outdoors. Listening to this while working. Hey, me too, buddy. He definitely said he'd let a lady Bigfoot. Yes, he did. Papa Pond Hopper. Who wouldn't let the female Bigfoot get a piece just for the story? Not me, dude. Not me. I'm happily married. I hope it never happens, okay? I always find it funny. Miss Bigfoot stuff is where it went off the rails. TikTok CEO pulling their hair out over this show. Hey, you never know, they might. Shout out to Tito's. Not anymore, baby. I was a one and done, baby. Down in Savannah today, the guy told me I should have brought my rod to fish off his dock. They're wearing the reds and the trout out. I told you, Coleman, yesterday. And I can see that logo now on the thing. Nice. We might have to incorporate that, baby. I do think I told you to get you one of those pocket fisherman rods, right? Little rod folds up, piece of junk, but you'd still be fishing. So, hey, listen, you should listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. I actually have one of those. It's terrible. It's the most limber piece of crap I've ever had. But you know what? I took it up to Kentucky, Tennessee. We were at the border of Tennessee and Kentucky, me and the wife at some resort, and had a little trout pond. And I pulled it out and just wore them out. Now, setting the hook was a little hard because it was flimsy. Ron Swinford, what are you doing there today, bud? Good job with Seth. Have to finish watching it all, but great guest. You might not want to finish watching it all. It gets a little crazy towards the end. Now, Alex says, my fishing seems to be getting better and better. Now, Alex, let me ask you this. Do you think that's because the fish is getting better and better, or you're becoming a better angler? Could be a little bit of both, right? Listen, you're out there working your ass off. You put in the time to get out there on that water, and you are becoming day by day a better, more versatile angler. So I think both of those things could be true. The fish could be biting better, but you're just getting better. Tyler says, it's just a reality of more people fishing. There's a finite amount of fish, and they can get pressured easily. Absolutely positive possibility. It's a possibility. Refusing to fish from the bank is crazy. I enjoy it every once in a while. It's what I grew up doing. It's what we all grew up doing. Most of us on a pond. Tyler says, Alex, I'm with you. Same boat. The fishing has gotten easier since the summer. And Alex has got to get back to fishing. Get back to working. I know he wants to be fishing. Jeremiah says, oddly enough, most bass fishermen from Japan are bank fishermen. Probably very, very true. What's up, Thomas Alexander on TikTok? Hope you're having a great day. Silverpunk, what was the total number of people that were watching Monday night? It was pretty good. I don't go back and check the numbers often, and I didn't. I know that it's going to take. First of all, here's the thing. Everybody is so used to Tuesday, Thursday nights, right? They just know my ugly mug's going to be there, or somebody's going to be there on Tuesday and Thursday. You guys are getting acquainted, accustomed to the lunch break. And I think the lunch break is kind of geared more towards a specific smaller, you guys are like cult members. You guys are the cult members. We still got to come up with a name for you guys. So, the lunch break, people are at work. So it's always a little smaller. But when we do something on a different night, it takes roughly, and this is just me and my experience with this, it takes about 2 months. 2 months of solid, continual content on a specific time to get people programmed. And also, too, for some reason, my Facebook was jacked up because I got a new iPhone Sunday afternoon. I had to reload my apps, and it jacked up my Facebook for some reason. And on the group page on Monday, I couldn't share anything. I don't even know how I figured it out, but it started working yesterday, but I couldn't share anything. So I was not able to even share it to all the kayak groups around. So, good showing. Will it get better? Absolutely. So I don't know. It will take it some time. if it ever gets to the Tuesday, Thursday night kind of thing. But listen, there are so many guys out there in the kayak world that are great anglers, got great personalities. Again, you guys are just a little odd. I love you guys. You're a little odd. But we'll get that going. And then, like, once I get that going, just like I said yesterday, I've got my eye on some guys to run a fly fishing podcast for those guys. I'd love to have an all-around podcast that's the stripers and the catfish guys. And I'd even like to have a hunting podcast. But again, I don't want to do them all. I can't do them all. Those are 21. Make angling great again. I got a shirt. I got it down in Port St. Joe. Actually, it was Apalachicola. And I got it in there, and it says that on the back. Make fishing great again. Pretty cool. I've never been off the bank. Nathan Owens. Hey, listen, but I bet you're confident on the bank, ain't you? Tyler says, how many boats do you guys think fish Lanier? Oh, man, time of year dependent, of course, but I would say a bunch of them. Now, a lot of them are the same guys over and over again, right? So you kind of have to figure that out. The way I would break it down is how many diehards are on Lanier, and a diehard to me would be 3+ times a week, not counting guides. And then you got your weekend warrior, right? The guy works all week, doesn't get home till it's dark, and he can only go on Saturday or Sunday. It's a lot, given the fact that it is the most visited, that and Alatoona, the most visited core lakes in the nation. I don't know. That would be really interesting to find out. Let's see. Jeremy, I feel all right, dude. 6 Tylenol and I'm good to go. All right, let's see. Yeah, you guys need to go watch the whole show again. You will see one little section that I did cut out. So you'll see it about an hour in. It will kick a little bit. Jarrett K. 0.14. I'm a weekend warrior, but I am 20, so I have to be. Exactly. 100% exactly, Jeremy. I get it like that. School and work. That's the most important thing. And then, of course, hey, listen, if you got you a lady or you're a lady angler and you got you a man, you got to work in some time for them, right? So it's funny. Now, where did we Coleman says, if I didn't like bass fishing so much, I would quit my job today and move down here to work. Savannah, the coast is great. It's great. Let's talk about truck pew-pews. Those are 21. What you want to talk about with truck pew-pews? Like, what kind of pew-pew does everybody like to have in their truck? Let me see. I'm way behind on some of these comments. Way behind. Let's just jump right. I'm going to scroll down. If I missed your comment, put it down again. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, Danny. You're right. Come on here. I want you to put Ron Swinford. What I've been finding out of late is in the past, you only had to figure out one thing to get a bite. Now you have to figure out a bunch of different things to get a bite. Absolutely. I agree with that, Ron. Guys, in the comment section on YouTube, Dozer21 wants to know, what would be a good carry in your vehicle pew-pew? I have a 9 Mega Million. I like it. 9 Mega Million. Wife, she buys that lottery ticket 380. One of those things like that. But Ron, I totally agree with you. You have to be versatile. You can't, the days of just going, can you still catch fish if you just are good at only one? Say if you're only good throwing a shaky head, yeah, you can still go out there and do that, drag the bottom. But if you want to compete or really get out there and catch the most fish, yeah, you got to learn so many different things. I still think we go crazy with the colors, though. Messick wants a noodling podcast. How in the hell am I supposed to do a noodling podcast? Okay, so there you go. Tyler's showing it. Danny, I can text you after the show my buddy Jack's info. He loves fly fishing and would love to co-host some of the fly fishing podcasts. Tyler, that might be right up your alley. I know you like the bass fish, but I know you like the fly fish. The North Georgia Trout Fishing Podcast. We're going to do it. I want something for everybody. I just don't want to do it. Okay, I don't mind getting it all started. But the Monday nighters, eventually, they're not going to be me. They're still eating a buzzbait in Mississippi. I don't doubt that. The weather, they're probably still eating a buzzbait everywhere right now. Probably right now you could go on most lakes and still get a buzzbait bite for sure. Because like right now, what is it? Is it 70 degrees outside right now? I haven't even been out there. I know it's warmer. And there we go. Okay, I'm about caught up with that. Springfield XD9 goes with me, Silverpunk. Springfield Hellcat or a Glock 19. A 300 blackout works great. Glock 19 or something. I don't know. AI angling talk, suggest topics. Well, TikTok's AI is telling me to suggest some topics. TikTok AI, let me hear your opinion on the Chapo. We'll see if it does that. Do you show up at the pig farm in North Georgia? Michael Hefner, I have no idea what you're talking about, pig farm. Where's the pig farm? I mean, I'm not against it. Are you talking about, do a show up at the pig farm? Guys, it's been a rough morning. I get what you're saying. We could do one up there. I actually have a buddy who has a grandfather that owns the first section of the Sequoia coming out of the National Forest or something like that. I haven't been up there with him, but I've been invited. And so we're going to go up and do some. I would love eventually to get out there and do some remote stuff with you guys. Like, here's the way I would really love if I could ever figure it out. Ryan and I, when Ryan was at the shop, we would go out and do a live from his boat. We would just put in that little pole you stick in the back, put my phone up there, and we would just go fishing. And he would be up at the front running the trolling motor. I'd be at the back, and I'd be kind of reading comments, conversing, and all that stuff. And but the problem with that is you get in the back of a pocket and some really good stuff with a lot of trees. For some reason, the signal just goes out. That could have been my phone, possibly. I got a newer phone. We might try it again. But that's why Underwood, with lipstick or fishing, he went out and got that Elon Musk thing. What is that internet? Starlink? But even with the Starlink, every once in a while, it still drags a little bit. Any property around the Sequoia is gold. That's cool. Yeah. Now, Messick says they ain't eating a buzz bait on Clarks Hill. My 8 pounds this past weekend shows. Absolutely. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I would think there's somewhere on Clarks Hill there'll be a fish eat a buzz bait. I'm not saying you're going to win a tournament on it. Mississippi, a little bit different, a little warmer. Silverpunk, is the Sequoia still a good river to trout fish? I haven't been in 12 years, but that was my favorite spot. Silverpunk, if you can get on the Sequoia, there's that public section, but most of it's private, and you got to go with somebody. But yeah, they've taken good care of that that river, and they've added there's some grown ones in there. Pig farm, kind of like what, who was it up there? It was Michael Hefner said. I feel like a dumbass because it didn't even register me what he was talking about with pig farm. I'm thinking, honest to God, pigs. Dozer, if you're still there, I got a couple other suggestions. A Diamondback 380. Again, something very similar to what my wife does. Ruger LC9. And I will tell you this, for my carry in my truck, it's my junk one. Because I need it just loud. I need it to make some noise and to be able to protect me. But it is one that I can treat pretty rough. My nice ones are not going in the truck with me unless I'm headed to the deer woods or something like that. So honestly, that's the way I approach that situation. You do you, 100%. Michael, let's see. I want a new trolling motor. Here you go. Here's a question for all you guys. I want a new trolling motor. What's everybody's opinion? Budget is not an issue. New trolling motor. You guys, if you had unlimited budget, what would you get? I'm just telling you, and I'm getting ready to give it back to Josh, but on our electric rig, we had an Ultrex 112 or whatever it was. Never had a problem with it. Loved it. I got my best long one that goes fast. There you go. I understand that, Dozer, for sure. Tyler says easily the Ultrex. Silverpunk MK Tarova on his kayak. Silverpunk. So I'm talking about the public section. We'd wade up to the private rope. I haven't been to that in a while, but people still go, so it's got to be. The Ghost is not it. The Move is too expensive. That's what Tyler put. I would go with a Minn Kota Ultrex Quest, Jeff Brazil said. The Ultrex, again, I mean, I put that thing through hell, if we're being honest. Again, I'm not the best at taking care of things. I can keep them working, but I'm pretty rough on my stuff. That's what I'm rough on my rods. I'm rough. Guys, 10 minutes before, I spilt a whole thing of Coke on this computer and on my phone and on that laptop over there. Like, I'm terrible at taking care of things. So when I say that Ultrex has done well, just understand that I have really honestly beat the daylights out of that thing. I mean, I've hit so many things with it. I mean, seriously, it's like a redheaded stepchild. It's just been abused and put up wet so many times. Michael says, I'm rocking a Motor Guide tiller handle on my yak. Dude, hey, listen, if it gets you from point A to point B, I know when I started off electric only fishing, we had 3 tillers on the back, like 55-pound thrust, and 1 on the front. And actually fished just as good as to when we got that Elko and everything. Now we got there a little faster. Doug says, I love my Ultrex. And hopefully it's Coke making the keys sticky. Damn, Tyler, you and Coleman are awful. Silver Punk right here. I've got the Tiny Boat Nation auto boat, and it works pretty good. $700 turns a cheap transom motor into a spot lock motor. Very interesting. You guys need to check that out. That's pretty cool. Nathan Owens says, public part of the Sequoia is still good. I've seen full stringers coming down that river, especially after a big rain, right? You get a lot of big rain, and a lot of people hit that section right there because they're hoping one of those pellet pigs has come on down, right? Anybody have an Ultrex on a 16-foot boat? That's what I'm going to get, and curious how fast it'll move my boat. Okay, so Messick, the boat that's in my driveway right now is a 17.5-foot Triton aluminum boat. Looks very much like a bass tracker, an old one. Pretty heavy. Okay, we've got the Elko on the back, but the Ultrex on the front. If I just ran the Ultrex at 100%, again, taking account, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 lead acid batteries on that thing. So I got a couple of big people riding along with me and just battery weight. That Ultrex alone on 10 will pull that boat almost 4 miles an hour. Now it's the 36 volt. So I mean, it will pull it. And you'll do just fine. That's exactly what you just put right there, Messick. That's exactly what I got. Tyler said you'll probably hit 5 miles an hour, and I probably would. Yeah, hold on with that Ultrex. Dozer 21 said you probably would if you didn't have all the battery weight. Now let's see here, Patricia Lee Anshaw. You always want to talk about these pros, don't you? Don't think the 10 new elites are going to be as strong as the last 2 years. Well, I don't know. But the last 2 years has been that's tough to compete with, right? I mean, just there's been a lot of talent, a lot of young talent pop into the elites the last 2 years. Now, this group coming up has got some hammers on it. So only time will tell, but I actually think the elites is getting like really crazy strong. Now, I know there's some guys out there, I've heard them say that, the MLF has more talent, angler per angler. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't see how you could, I don't know. It's a good question. Now, let's just say this. What if they are as strong as the last 2 years? That gives you, that's 30 new anglers, right? There's 10 each year, and just some absolute hammers. I mean, you got McKinney pulling, 2 years ago, he's pulling that group, and Fothergill and all of them. And then, of course, you got the Emils and the Pauls from last year and Tucker Smith. And this year you got Anaya coming in there and some others. It's just like, and I know Anaya more than any of them, but still, I mean, wow. A lot of freaking talent, which might make it more interesting to watch for me. Again, I kind of gravitate towards the young guy. Jeff Brazil says, I bet they will be as good. Tyler Shelnut said, we should lobby for Fisher to be allowed in the surge squad, maybe. MLF is top heavy with talent, but Bass has more talent down the line. John G., my kayak buddy. John, are you on the Oconee today? Because if you're not, it would shock me. I've got a new Hasswing 65-pound thrust converted over to foot steering on my kayak, $340. Gets up to around 4.7 miles per hour. And Georgia Bassmaster got that new Newport on his, and good grief, I just saw the video. As fast as he was going, looked a little scary to me on a kayak for sure. Justin Ortiz, not sure if you mentioned it or not, but did you take out the Bigfoot segment from last night? No, it's still there. Bigfoot's there. Ain't no way but that same guy that is my guardian angel, kind of confidant, ass chewer, however you want to call him, love him. He said, Danny, at some point you got to start thinking about a national sponsor and all that. And I was like, yeah. Could you see if, say, I don't know, Home Depot said, Danny, I really like your podcast. We'd like to sponsor you. And then they go, well, we're going to let our president of marketing watch your last episode. And he gets to that point where we're talking about Bigfoot. I probably just cost myself some money. But still, would it not be us? I mean, I don't want to change and become another podcast. We're different for a reason, and we can't change that. No way MLF has more talent. Half of those guys were invited. Bobby Colson. There you go. I've heard a lot of guys say that, though. That's why it's interesting to me. I've heard a lot of guys say MLF it's got the best anglers on it. It's got some good ones. It's got some really good ones. But I'm telling you, Bassmaster, that elite group, and the MPFL, I know they don't have a qualifying thing, and a lot of people kind of harp on that a little bit. But with some of the elites going over there and fishing it, plus, that's becoming a stout league. Some of them MPFL guys were good, and now you add that, they're all good. Let's just be bottom line is, if you can make the pro level any of those three, you're good. You're talented. You're going to wax my ass if I get in a boat with you. Let's see. Yeah, he's on the Oconee. I knew. Where were we at? I saw Silver Punk with that new Newport won't be allowed in kayak tournaments. So interesting. So are you telling me that some kayak tournament, I know there's some where you can't have motors, but are you telling me that they have restrictions? That might be a good conversation to have next Monday on the kayak episode, because, again, I don't know all the stuff about kayaks. Let's see what my buddy Kent has to say right here. Faircloth and Labrum caught them every cast this morning with a crankbait, running away with today with two other things. Now, it was funny. He hit me up yesterday. They're down on Crankin and Yankins. Am I still right? They're down in Crankin and Yankins area. Scoping like hell, right? Which is funny. And I always, when you guys send me messages or texts like that, I always enjoy it. I always enjoy that. Let's see. Fishing with Paul. Talent only gives you a head start anyway. Hard work is way more important than talent. How true is that? How many people in this world would be good at something and they just waste it? They waste their talent. For whatever, maybe it's confidence or something, or I don't know, or maybe they just get turned sideways. But a lot of people waste their talent because they don't work. They don't want to put the work in. And God knows these young kids are on the water all the time. All the time. Remember, I'm an ass fisher, the other night? How many days a week are you on the water? What did he say, 5 or 6? I can't never get Paul Marks Jr. on here because he's either fishing or hunting somewhere. He's always doing something. Stay true to the show. Anyway, I know we're going to. Jeremiah Giles, any suggestions on a kayak I can put pretty much anywhere? I fish everywhere and for everything, in rivers, lakes, saltwater too, and it's hard to pick a good one at least 11 feet because I am tall. So you guys out there, throw out a good kayak suggestion for Mr. Tall Jeremiah Giles. But it'd be good to get you off the bank a little more. Let's see, Casey Weaver. Hey, we are well. Missed you the last few weeks. Glad you're around. Cletus is here. We already covered that, dude. Yeah, it's better. It's better. I've already told him, Cletus. Danny is going straight coffee or Coke from here on out. You're not going to see me with a mixed drink or nothing, especially a mixed drink. That thing snuck up on me so bad. Oh, it was awful. And yeah, a lot of aspirins this morning. Danny, do you have any sponsorship recommendations for the Kennesaw Bass team? Reached out to Yamaha yesterday. Well, I'll say this. You're going to have to knock on some doors and make some calls. And it depends on what your needs are. What I will tell you is don't knock the little guy. If you get a company that all they can do is give you $100 and some baits, you treat them as if they were Strike King. And eventually you'll get to Strike King. It doesn't hurt to go after the big boys. It doesn't hurt to go after the big boys at all. But don't overlook the little guy. Because again, you guys, a lot of you guys have heard this. You can't eat an elephant in one bite. Right? There's some famous bookers saying about it. You have to eat the elephant in 1,000,000 bites. But you can eat the elephant, right? Eventually you can eat it all, but one bite's going to be tough. But anyway, let's see. Stephen Sturgeon. But keep going at it. Listen, and I'll help you whichever way I can, Tyler. We'll see what I can do. Wins get sponsorships, Dozer said. Yeah, but they're starting a new fishing team over at Kennesaw, fishing club over there. So again, I think being at Kennesaw, big college, you ought to be able to do, get some, but also too, you know what? I'm sure Kennesaw State has a marketing division, a marketing department that teaches kids marketing and all that. Why not reach out to them and say, hey, listen, get some marketing students and see if they'll help you or something. I don't know. There's ways to do it. I don't have one, but the new Canoe Unlimited looks like it might fit the bill for a utility kayak, Stephen Sturgeon said. Okay, there you go. So I've caught up on our introductory talk tonight, 36 minutes in. So now I want to ask you a topic. And this came up in my mind this morning too. How many of you guys, whether it's fishing products, whether it is food, whatever, how many of you guys are totally cool with using off-brand compared to name brand, right? You go into a grocery store and you got name brand spaghetti sauce, but you got off-brand spaghetti sauce. You think it tastes the same. You go in, and the reason I ask this is my wife likes to shop at Aldi. And I'll be honest, I'll go in there every once in a while with her because I can get my blue cheese stuffed olives pretty cheap there. I'll go in there with her. But she'll go in all these other kind of stores like that. I mean, I prefer Publix. That's where I would shop. She's more of a Kroger lady, Walmart herself. But we'll go into Aldi, and it's like their own little products. But I have found that for the most part, it's totally, totally good. But she brought me, and I don't even know the name of it. She brought me some Diet Cokes last night that was Summit. It was something like that. I've never heard of it before. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Tastes pretty damn good. It just got my mind thinking. All right. So, what do you guys do? If it works, it works. Off-brand everything except for tires, engine components, and rod and reels. Fair enough. Farmer says off-brand. Tyler says, I'm weird about using off-brand, name brand, off-brand. Oh, let's see. I'm weird about using name brand. Off-brand weirds me out a little bit. Atlanta Outdoors, I primarily buy off-brand unless I don't like the off-brand taste. Nathan goes, green olives with a question mark. Dude, listen, I wouldn't touch an olive. I wouldn't touch an olive before I got COVID. And now a green olive stuffed with blue cheese and sometimes with jalapenos. I got jars in my refrigerator. Now I'm doing my low carb thing again. And the olive is just straight fat. So I can have all the protein and fat that I want. And olives are perfect, dude. Okay, don't hate on my Summit Cola or Aldi Red Bull. Okay, so Coleman, is that where it come from? Is it a Summit? That's Aldi's. Is that Aldi's brand? Aldi Red Bull is so good. Listen, I'm not knocking it because I tried it yesterday and I actually liked it. Now, when we go to the doctor, some of you guys got boozy insurance and you can get the name brand medication, but a lot of us get the generic, right? Probably put out by the same people. Hell, I don't know. Now, there is a couple of medicines that my wife has to take, and the doctor will only allow her to have the name brand stuff. I don't know if he knows something I don't know. But Okay, a lot of these are food, right? Sam's Color for the win. If it ain't, now see here's messick, and this is what I was going to ask. If it ain't an owner's shaky head, I ain't throwing it. Now, food is different. That was where I was getting ready to go. Where do you cut it off? Where is it just in food, and maybe in medicine, maybe clothing? But when it comes to your fishing stuff, oh hell no. Because I mean, which was it? Tyler Coleman up there said something about rod and reels. No way. That's got to be your name brand stuff and all that. Name brand toilet paper is necessary. I just think it's got to be 2-ply quality. Okay, 2-ply quality. Name brand only. Clayton says. Doug Rice has found that some of the off brands are good. Truth be told, they are made by the name brand folks. Some of them are, for sure. I grew up straight in the hood early in life. Some of the off brand food is better than the real stuff, soda and chips specifically. Nathan says that sounds pungent. My wife is Italian. I've been force-fed olives and pasta by the in-laws since day one. You know, everybody's got to deal with that, right? Now, listen, I talked yesterday about my father-in-law, good old Bill Perkins. That joker, when I started dating Amanda, I don't mind lima beans. My wife loves lima beans. Her dad loved lima beans. They had lima beans at every meal. Hell, sometimes at breakfast, right? There were certain things, when you get with in-laws, there's certain things that they do that you might not have grown up with, but lima beans, every freaking meal. Now, I'll eat a lima bean, but I ain't never seen, you talking about getting stuffed with olives and pasta. I got stuffed with lima beans every time I go over there. Overcooked deer steak, a homemade biscuit, some macaroni and cheese, and lima beans. All right. Next night, spaghetti, garlic bread, lima beans. Next morning, getting ready to go deer hunting, deer sausage, scrambled eggs and grits, a biscuit, and an optional bowl of lima beans. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you're blessed enough to make it to 60, water is the best. Not out of the tap, though. My wife is a water snob, too. She don't like drinking out of the tap. I always have to keep the filter changed here at the house and in the refrigerator. She will only drink Dasani and maybe one more. She will not drink like Deer Park or Aquafina. It tastes different. I'm like, it's freaking water. Water tastes like water. And then I get people going, oh, no, it don't. I don't have the palate, the experienced palate to be able to tell you which water tastes the best. As long as it ain't got dirt in it, I'll drink it. I don't really like water. It don't taste. This is where even on my diet, I get my sweetness kind of out. My coffee and my drinks. Kendra says, a lot of off-brand is actually name brand without the fancy packaging name at the fraction of a cost. Yeah. Dasani, the only thing worse is Deer Park, little Janet Smith 859. Listen, I think it's Dasani. I think that's the one she drinks. Where we're going. Yeah, Summit is an Aldi brand. All right, it wasn't bad. Force fed. Cameraman Cletus says, Bible Bash TV says, I need something to add to water so it's not bland. That's me. That is me. And I will add stuff to it. Now, if I'm working or fishing and somebody's got ice cold water and it's that time, it's a spot for sure. But choose it like at a restaurant. Oh, I'd like water. No, hell no. Bring me that Coke Zero. Spring water is where it's at, Jandon says. It might be. Danny, are we getting you on a real deal Coach Cletus plan coming soon? It's getting there. I have lost 10 pounds. 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks. But most of it's probably the water I was retaining because I am peeing like a racehorse. I buy the off-brand fuzzy dice from Temu. How many of you guys have bought stuff from Temu? Now, my wife has bought some stuff from Temu. And I will tell you this. She bought me a deer blind, that Tide Wee. If you're on TikTok, you've seen it. And Tide Wee makes a lot of off-brand kind of, cheaper stuff that other companies make. I've hunted out of that Tide Wee deer stand this year. It's the one that you basically can see. It says 360, but technically the back is black, but on all your sides all around, you can see great through that thing. And it is a hell of a hunting blind. One time took 19 weeks to arrive. Temu Dozer 21. That's about the only kind of thing like that I bought. Now, this mic, it's not the Shure mics that we use in the other thing, but it works. But those were like $400 or something like that we had at the shop. This one cost me, and with the arm, it was like $119. I got a light. Sometimes you got to go cheap. My wife loves Aldi. I will buy off-brand on some things, but I like higher-end gun gear and equipment, fishing thing. I think, yeah, we draw a line, right? Name brand women are better too. The off-brand lizards aren't great. You guys are crazy. H2OX rods ain't all that bad. Now, okay. White Owl 74 brings up a very good point. There are some things in life that you don't sacrifice on. You don't go cheap. I will say this. I'm not going to go cheap on toilet paper, sheetrock, and I'm talking about the guys that put it up and know what they're doing. You guys that have had a cheap sheetrock guy in your house, you know what I'm talking about. And mayonnaise. Nothing but Dukes. Mayo, no blue plate, and hell to no on the Miracle Whip. Now, my wife and my mom and dad, I grew up on blue plate. I have since switched over to the Dukes, but I will eat blue plate and Dukes, but not the other stuff. My wife will not eat Dukes to save her life. I think Dave Aldridge, I don't know if he's listening today. He is not going to, I forget which one he is. I think blue plate is from New Orleans, was made down. It's one of those. I think that's the one he likes to use. But when it comes to mayonnaise, people get really picky, don't they? But I ain't eating no, I'm not, I'll be honest with you. And it might even be Dukes in the bottle, but I'm not eating off-brand mayonnaise. I draw the line. Fishing stuff I struggle with, this is Doug. Fishing stuff I struggle with off-brands, but I'm trying to change because of the cost. But my rods and reels, I will not buy off-brands. Bible Bass TV. Food Depot has JFG mayo. Is it good? Is it worth it? Optional bowl of lima beans. Nathan, seriously, like lima beans with everything. They could bring out a charcuterie board. The best charcuterie board that's ever been made. And if it came from the Perkins family, they have a pile of lima beans on your charcuterie board. Dasani has sodium hydroxide in it, which is not ideal. I'll tell her, Clint. Deer Park tastes like I swam in it, or like a deer swam in it. Florida spring water is horrible. I do realize when you go to Florida and you get down to the Bahamas and all that, you do drink water from the bottle. Danny, does high-end tackle help you catch more fish? $200 combo versus a $2,000 combo. No, I do not think it does help you catch more fish. I do think that in a lot of instances, it can help you be more successful in that. He says, absolutely, that's great. JFG Mayo. Might have to check it out. I think there's been more fish caught on a Zebco 33 in a 6.6 two-piece combo than any other rod and reel. That being said, how many fish did I miss growing up because I couldn't feel what I was doing, couldn't fight them right? I do think you get what you pay for. Now, $2,000, that's a little iffy, but I don't know because, you got some joker that can go to Walmart and he can pick any bait caster and any rod off their shelf and go wax your ass on it. And then there are other guys that can take an expensive piece of equipment and they can feel things that just not the average guy can do, right? So I think it's somewhere in between War Eagle, the best, if I'm being honest. Some people drink Deer Park water. They're the same people. Oh, hold on a second. Jeremiah's about to get a whipping right here. People that drink Deer Park water are the same people that eat Arby's. Dude, I love Arby's. I love Arby's. I love the beef and cheddar. I love the giant roast beef. I love the French dip. And I don't get into all that other crazy stuff. But, dude, you can't knock Arby's beef and cheddars. That's almost sacrilege for me. Now, if I have to eat it now, I got to throw the bun away. But just give me the cheddar on the meat. We're upping it, Danny. Brace yourself. I'm even going to go walking later today. I like Arby's and I hate that water. Fiji, Casey says Fiji and Smart Water or Kroger brand water is top tier. So, Bible Bash TV said that JFG stuff at Food Depot is legit. How about this? Here we go. Temu drop shot weights are the juice. Now, is it just because it's cheap? And Nathan says Temu has some damn good lures. Visual Paul says, anything I found on Temu, I found comparable prices from less sketchy websites. Okay. Won't say the brand name, but I've seen some local bait companies selling Temu risers marked up at 4 times the price. Ooh. Now TikTok AI that's listening to me says, water brand debate. Share your preferences. The phone is listening to me, guys. Doc Holliday should know. Listen to this right here, because he is a pharmacist. 99% of generic drugs are okay. A few thyroid, for example, no. And Doc Holliday, you're exactly right, because my wife had her thyroid removed, and so she has to do the replacement Synthroid, and you could get the I can't remember if she uses the one made from pigs or the I can't remember. I know there's a couple different ones. But that has to go, and her heart medication, because of lack of thyroid, it elevates her heart for some reason. Her heart thing, it's name brand. But her Valiums and all that other stuff, they're generic. I buy my tungsten weights on Temu too. Okay, there you go. Kendra says. Actually, now that I think about it, the H2OX hard baits at Academy are pretty good, even though they're an off brand. Yeah, a lot of guys have definitely caught a bunch of fish. I think it was, I think Tim Hancock said that the Academy baits are pretty good. Temu Pool Q. Hey, whatever, that works. The Temu Pool Q sounds like something I need to buy. Miracle. Okay, Jeff Brazil. We're back on the mayonnaise. Miracle Whip, I believe, is made with cat piss. The stuff is terrible. Duke's is my brand. Grew up on Blue Plate, so I'm good with it too. I think, Jeff, you and I are long distant relatives. That's how I feel. Atlanta Outdoors says, with Temu, just make sure you know how to convert units and pay attention to the size. Some lures are deceivingly small. Makes sense. It's all about presentation. I like Seth's comment about that last night. It's a little lighter and more efficient. He did that. And I remember him saying that. And I actually remember, Clint, when he said that. Like, you over there, sometimes I know you so well. When something catches your ear, you and Tony and all that, you kind of you'll have these little facial expressions. And I can see the change in your facial expression. And I'm sitting back here going, okay, that was good. Whatever he just said, that was some good stuff, because I could see the way my guys perked when he said it. Seth is just a cool freaking dude, 100%. I don't cheap out on hooks. That might be something. I know that I'm on Alibaba, which is the Chinese Amazon, right? Because I used to buy jig skirt material there. And they sent me, I still get the emails. They're wanting to send me samples of stuff to try out. And they sent me some tungsten jig heads, but the hooks on them were terrible. I like the jig head itself, but the hooks were terrible. Now I said, there's no way I'm going to buy those in bulk and tie on those. Can't do that. Let's see. Michael Hefner right there. I have to cash in on that. Give me an Arby's French dip any day of the week. Danny's stomach is made out of vibranium. It's out of something. 100% on that Zebco 33. Like, seriously. That's why I reel with my right hand and I can't do the switching thing. I'm left-handed. But, Zebco 33 had one option, and that's what I grew up on. So I think that's why I am. I'm going to get all this hate. I'm going to get hate for this. All right, guys. Time to hate on Nathan. All mayo is the same. Except the off-brand. Listen, it ain't, Nathan. Tell them about that Arby's White Owl French dip and a cherry turnover. I don't even get the au jus sauce that comes with that. What I do is, if I get a beef and cheddar, or if I get any sandwich at Arby's, they say, hey, would you like any sauces and all that? I said, give me all that daggum horsey sauce you can. And I will tell you this. If you got a stuffed nose, the Arby's horsey sauce will clear that crap right out. Brian Cole's like, yeah, listen at you. Yeah, towards the end of the show, it caught up with me a little bit, Brian. Again, I'm sorry. I hope it didn't turn all you guys off. And if there's any national sponsors out there, I'm not going to do it again. I promise. Can I get Temu Koikis? I guess you can. I mean, there's a little bit of everything. Yes, Casey Weaver, I probably did. Message me with all the stuff going on in the shop. I probably did forget about your jigs. Message me on Facebook and tell me what they were. Horsey sauce for the win. Bull crap, my guy. All mayo is the same with a question mark. Michael said, I told you you're going to catch it. He said he was going to catch it. I replaced mayonnaise with Laughing Cow light cheese. Now, I eat that stuff too. It's in our refrigerator. I don't know about replacing it with that, but yeah, so will smelling salts. I've never had smelling salts. But if they're any stronger than the Arby's horsey sauce, definitely I'll light you up. Nathan's laughing like that. It's official. Coleman is mentally ill. What is Coleman doing? Oh, Coleman said all mayo is the same too. He done lost his mind. There ain't no way. Now, Jeremiah says Nathan is correct. All mayo is the same, and it's all disgusting, right along with pickles, Brussels sprouts, okra, and Deer Park water. Like Jeremiah is definitely anti-Deer Park water, right? The only time I use Miracle Whip is when making salad dressing. I can go in there and take Duke's or Blue Plate. I can put a spoon in there and just eat the spoon, dude. I love it. I know that's, but I'm also the same guy that'll drink a gallon of buttermilk in a sitting. I love buttermilk. And a lot of you guys will go, oh, that's disgusting. That little effervescent twang of buttermilk. All mayo is disgusting again. Coleman just passed a dude with a 5.8 trailer full of Modelo, following him closely now. I don't want nothing to do with Modelo today. Brussels sprouts and okra are the best. Now listen, I like fried okra. Anything else? No, not a fan. Best thing you can do with the okra is let it grow, let it dry out, and make Christmas ornaments with it. Little shakers and stuff. I've seen my wife do that. I like mayo too. One grandma was Duke's, the other was Blue Plate. My wife won't eat it. She won't eat Duke's. She, now she's very set in her ways. Okay, she will not eat any meat that has pink on the inside, like a medium rare steak or anything, hamburger. She won't do that. It's got to be well done. We'll go order the same steak wherever we go. And let's just say we go to Longhorns, we get a filet, right? It's about 4 inches thick when it starts and all that, or 3 inches or whatever the hell it is. But by the time they get done with my wife's, and I say start cooking hers now, because it takes an hour and a half to suck all the moisture out of my wife's steak. And it's an inch thick when she gets it. And I mean, it is absolutely the toughest piece of meat you'll ever stick in your mouth. And she loves it. And I'm like, yeah, that shit's burnt. She's set in her ways. She'll only eat certain cereals. She won't eat anything strange. Sushi. She's not eating sushi. Even the cooked, even like with the artificial crab meat where it's cooked and all that, she will not eat it. And I'm like, I tell her she has the most boring palate in the history of the world. Kefir, don't forget how much you like kefir. I do like kefir. Now, here's a good question for you guys. All you hunters out there. 10-point or Raven for a crossbow? Now, both are fine crossbows. Both are pretty expensive. My question to you first, War Eagle the Best, is how much do you hunt? If you hunt a lot and you plan on continuing to hunt, those two would be pretty good. If you're new to hunting and you're just wanting to get into it, I might go cheaper to see if you like crossbow hunting. But if you already know you like it and you're going to do that, I would go the Raven. That's just me. Bible Bass TV says Raven, absolutely what I use. And but a lot of guys will do this, and they'll do it with a kayak too. I know a certain individual with a kayak that went out and he bought a Hobie something 3. I mean, it is a shit ton of money. He's been in it 2 times since he bought it. So it's like a spur of the moment kind of thing. He wanted the name. He wanted to say, I own this. I think it was a Hobie. But he never uses it. So I'm like, you'd have been just as good with a Walmart kayak or one from Academy. And you'd have saved you $3,000 or whatever. But that's why I always ask people, like when they're starting to hunt, if they're just getting into it, you can go spend the money on the best if you want, but you want to make sure you like doing it before you do that, because if not, it's going to be sitting in your closet, right? Atlanta Outdoor said, sold a Raven when I moved to Atlanta, loved it before selling it. Fried okra is not gross. Well, somebody didn't do it right if it came out squishy and slimy. Okra is trash, even fried. No one knows how to season the breading for sure. Clayton Belmont, dude, he's a Hellman's guy. Hellman's. And Fred Ashcraft wants to know, is there any way to make Brussels sprouts taste good? Yeah. Now, I'll say this. Maybe you just got to catch COVID. Because before COVID, I would not eat Brussels sprouts. I would not eat olives. I wouldn't eat any vegetables or anything green. And I didn't really like tomatoes. Like ketchup, but I didn't like tomatoes, right? After COVID, I'll eat anything vegetable-wise. And I mean, I love like collard greens, all that stuff now, spinach. I'll eat that stuff like crazy. But okra still, and pickled okra. Now, see, here's the crazy thing is, you give me pickled pig's feet, I'll eat them. Give me a pickled, sausage, I'll eat it. Love stuff that's pickled. But I don't like pickles. I just don't like pickles. And I can't stand pickled okra. I mean, good gosh, that's nasty. But I am one of those weird guys. Like, I'll eat tomatoes now. You roast them. That's, Brussels sprouts. Danny just wants us to get COVID so he can test us. That's not true. Casey says, I'm a rifle hunter mostly. Either use my Sid Cross 308 or Ruger American Gen 2 6mm Creedmoor. I decked out in a chassis and a Tiffany trigger. All right, you're over our head already. You're over our head already. Get your bougie ass out of here, Casey. I'm kidding. You know what I'm saying. Totally great guns. No, I don't want to test you guys for COVID. You test yourself. It is a self-administered test. You have to roast Brussels sprouts at 425 for 18 minutes. Salt, pepper, garlic, and dip them in balsamic. I eat them 3 times a week that way. Okay, there you go. We're throwing out recipes and cooking tips today on the lunch break. Might as well. It's lunch, right? A lot of people make bad food. I'm not one of them. I like that. Oh, man, pickled okra is legit. Spicy pickled okra is fire. Pickled, I don't like it. Okay, so War Eagle the best. Only to hunt around my house occasionally in an area where guns are prohibited. Given knowing where you live, absolutely get that. I mean, I don't want to tell you not to go buy one. But if you're just going to pick one off here or there in your yard or right around it, where you live and all that, probably kill it with the Walmart one. Whatever they sell at Walmart. You really could. I mean, now if you're going out to Kentucky or something, or somewhere where you got to really launch a bolt a good ways, and you really want some, feet per second and all that, then a 10-pointer Raven's going to do exactly what you want. But I again, Bill, my father-in-law, when he passed away, he had it's in the truck. He had an old crossbow, and I still use it, but I can't take a 50-yard shot with that thing because the limbs over the years have weakened a little bit and all that. And one of these days it's going to explode on me. 25, 30 yards in, I'll wax you, dude. Boom. But you just got to know it. I don't know. I'm cheap like that, War Eagle the best, but definitely, if you between those two, if you're going to spend the money, I go with the Raven. Land outdoors, me either. Been cooking since I was a teen. Grandpa taught me how to fry fish and smoke meat. That's a talent. Congratulations, Kaz Anderson, second place. Wildcat on Pickwick, Todd Huntley. Yeah, Kaz is the dude. And he can fish. He's got a bright future ahead of him. And he's a super cool cat. So, yeah, he just keeps plucking along. Just old Kaz, Kaz being Kaz. But, yeah, he is an awesome person, too. Awesome person as well. Always enjoy seeing Kaz do well. I love frying fish and smoking ribs. Taught myself, honestly. Me too. Actually, I did the same thing, Tyler. I got, you've had the green egg, and then I even got a Weber grill. I actually enjoy smoking a butt. No laughs from the gallery. But a Boston butt, I actually enjoy doing it on a Weber better than I do like on a green egg or something like that. And I use that snake chain where you stack it in the wood all the way around it and just you start it and it just goes and smokes. As long as you can control the temp, I actually think I do better on my Weber. Matt Kaz at Hammond's, great dude he is. Casey says, I've been into firearms longer than fishing. I've wanted to get into bow hunting, though. Get you a bow and let it go. Bow hunting's different. You still can reach out and touch them, but bow hunting's different. Bow hunting, I will admit, puts in the element of getting close to the deer, right? Now, if you really want to be all, true to the sport, you don't use compound bows, but I'm not true to the sport. I use a compound. Okay. I'm not that guy. Kaz sure caught him last week. He's already dropped his video from it. He caught some in places I fish a lot. That's pretty cool to see when they do that, right, Jeff? Bottom Line Outdoors, pickled pig feet are great. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things pickled that are good. I love, now listen, pickled eggs, pickled quail eggs, all those things. But I'm not eating, I'll eat a pickle if I was starving or if somebody snuck one in on my hamburger that I didn't know about. But I'm not going to go out and buy one of the, foot-long dill pickles that are at the gas station. When do you plan to fish Latham? I don't know yet. It will be out of a kayak because I'm without a boat right now. I got to get another boat. But I don't know. I really don't know, War Eagle. I didn't get to bow hunt this year, really hunt as of yet. Been too busy moving and fishing. Yeah, that's for sure. I wanted to get up this morning and go bow hunt over in Milton before I did the show. And, of course, I may or may not have slept in a little bit this morning. I learned on a recurve when I was young, but I'll probably buy a compound shear. Same here, Tyler. I'm going to hit the woods this weekend, hopefully. I just don't understand eating a pig foot that's been in mud and shit. Nathan, the whole pig has been in mud and that. Okay? It's a pig. The whole pig at one point in time has been, and they wash it. They wash it. What's up, Dan Parker? They wash it. It's like eating, I think pig brains is pretty good. Pig brains ain't bad. Tastes like potted meat to me. But you tell somebody that, you're eating pig brains and like, Tyler says, I can't take a day off of fishing. I feel like I'll fall behind. Now, come on. You're good enough. You can take a day off. The thought gets me. Yeah, I get it. Yum on the quail eggs. Dude, I like quail eggs. I almost built me a pen to buy quail, to raise quail, just so I could have an unlimited supply of pickled quail eggs. But my wife, she kind of vetoed that. Potted meat ain't bad. No, Jeff Brazil. I'm that guy that can go get I can eat potted meat. I can get that old, what is that, deviled ham. I can eat deviled ham, the deviled chicken, all that stuff. I can eat it all. Sardines, if it's meat and it comes from a can, Spam, you name it, I can eat it. It ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. So anyway, all right, guys, let's see where we at. Yeah, we're going over an hour, so you guys got to get back to work. And I got to go do some work myself. So you guys listen. My guest for tomorrow night hasn't responded yes or no just yet, other than he's trying to check his schedule. So tomorrow we'll have a lunch break. And then tomorrow night we'll have a Livewell. And then we'll just fly into the weekend. Have to check the weather, see what the weather is going to be like. Hopefully I can get in the woods some. I got to go work on my daughter is buying my brother's house, and I've got to do a little work on it. Handy dandy man or whatever, I'm here. I got to do it. I'm just dangerous enough to do everything, but I am not an expert at anything. Deviled ham on white bread with mayo. John G. That has fed me at deer camp many a time. Save me some lima beans, Danny, you smart ass Nathan Owens. Don't make me get back to work. I love pickled eggs for sure, especially spicy ones. Underwood brand deviled ham. That's it, Jeff. I couldn't think of it. I just knew it had the devil on it. Spam ain't nothing but Boston butt and some couple other ingredients, right? But anyways, you guys have a great rest of your day. Time for me to actually get up and be a productive member of society. Drink a couple more cups of coffee. Go to the store, buy me a can of Copenhagen, and go to work. So you guys listen, I love hanging out with you guys every day. Appreciate you guys more than you know. And we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do it again. All right, so I'm going to let TikTok go. And they're gone. But the rest of you guys on YouTube, y'all the fam, appreciate it. And remember what I said. Don't be scared to rein Danny in. If you see something, say, whoa, Danny, shoot me a text. And then Coleman, I'm going to look at that logo that you made. It's always a good time with you guys as well. So you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow.